chose to attack first.
Just might want to like assert their dominance. I'm not too sure what the teams are thinking, but that is a great point that you brought up, because that is what happened here. With such a great defense on King's Row, Team Liquid had the goalposts moved up significantly further with such a great defense.
Traveling to Dorado.
Either way, full payload map. We saw this once today already. Essentially, you've got the opening market area, then the church area, then the factory to round it out. But only 2 checkpoints along the way. The first checkpoint, this is actually one of the maps I think that gets shut down on the first checkpoint more often. Just because that underpass choke point can be so difficult to break. Usually defense will actually let the payload get all the way to the underpass and then just shell down into that area for the next 3-4 minutes. So if anywhere is going to have a full stop, Dorado and I think Gibraltar are probably the 2 most likely, as they're both full payload maps, and they both do have stretches where defense will typically let the offense push freely, but they still it can be really hard to break in. There's a lot of high ground, there's a lot of cover. You can set up a lot of crossfiring with that, with Pharah, Soldier, Torb, and Bastion sometimes come out. Looks like AZK wants to potentially snipe again on offense for Liquid coming out.
Yeah, and like you said, a lot of teams do favor playing over at the choke point, and that's the composition that One Shot are going with right now. Dot on that Roadhog is going to have excellent control over the stairs on the right hand side of that plaza. Rolf, of course, on the Symmetra, we'll be able to see if he's going to be able to get any kind of value off of that. We did see a Symmetra earlier on today. It was so close to be able to get the teleport down. Unfortunately, failed in that regard. Chronic, of course, on the Reinhardt, Psycho Waffle on the Mercy, and Ultimate Web is going to be playing that Junkrat to really shell down, like you said, on that choke point, and Xe, of course, on that Soldier 76.
Doors are open, so Liquid is going to be moving forward with this composition. They've got 2 supports, 2 tanks, and 2 damage dealers with AZK sniping to start off. They are actually going to be allowed to move all the way up to the choke point as we expected. So now it's just a matter of seeing where ID and AZK try to position themselves as the damage dealers, while the tanks, of course, are going to be with the payload. Looks like AZK just going into the road, taking 1 shot, backing off repeatedly. Symmetra on the defense is going to be trying to build up to 100% as quickly as possible, already at 25%, but cannot die before that teleporter goes up, or that's a drastic loss for the defense.
Yeah, so right now they are stymied, they are trying to push in, but of course, like I said, Dot playing that right-hand side, playing the stairs, has excellent control with that Roadhog. Right now, the Junkrat just putting in so much work. They're slowly eking it through. It's almost all the way through that choke point, making it a little bit easier to push in, but they're going to go ahead and back off for now.
Yeah, defense just very comfortable on the payload, 1 shot, not losing anybody, still standing. Rolf is up to 63% now. Looks like a big orb caught a chunk of somebody, but he's down to like 2 HP. Rolf needs to find some health or some healing immediately just to guarantee that teleporter comes into play, but looks like the offense is being held at bay. No one, actually Dehang and ID coming around the side, finally get in there and actually do take out Dot. Rolf still not at 100%. The Symmetra play is not working out for them, as they're starting to lose all their players before the TP is up. The res is forced to be used instead. Psycho Waffle manages to keep standing, so that's good for the D. You can see offense picking their players up now as well. Ultimate Web trying to stay alive on Junkrat. Rolf 93%, cannot get that last few percent instead of the TP. At this point, I think it almost doesn't even matter since they're pushed up so far. Junkrat's tire does come out, but Xe actually getting the killing blows that they needed here to manage to stay alive long enough for Rolf to finally place that teleporter. It's going to be way back behind the checkpoint wall, and Liquid made a lot of progress, but still cannot be happy with where they're sitting right now.
Well, fortunately for them, the payload shouldn't be pushed back to that choke point quite yet, so they will have the opportunity to just push in without having to deal with those 2 lanes right there in the middle. And they're going to go ahead and get speed boosted in, but we do have the whole hog coming out, and that's going to disengage pretty quickly. We do have the Sounding Barrier coming out in the back. It's going to be in with the Rocket Barrage. He does get that kill onto Xe, and Mesmer finds one of his own onto Rolf. Now it's a 3v6. We do have the Resurrection coming out from Psycho Waffle, but Chronic is going to get picked off. It in the background finds the teleporter, so there's no more teleporter for them. So now this Symmetra is just going to work to the detriment to the side of One Shot as Team Liquid continue to push forward.
I can't believe after all that they still lose the teleporter so quickly. Liquid does get the checkpoint here, so they get a couple minutes added to their time. And now we're going to begin the church phase here of Dorado. Typically, you're going to see the defense set up on the high ground. Chronic's already there as Reinhardt waiting for his teammates to catch up. And of course, the attacking team knows this. Liquid knows that the high ground is very often used by defense, so they're going to be trying to employ some strategy to deal with that as well. Rolf and Dot, Rolf actually switching over to Lucio, Dot onto Widowmaker now instead of that Roadhog. On the attacking side, no one's going to switch it up. They're actually all still their original characters cruising through here. It looks like Dummy is going to leap up and try to engage, giving ID and Dehang enough room to get up there. Dehang falls to Dot on the sniper though. Widow pulling her weight here for one shot is going to force Team Liquid back.
All right, good hold coming out from one shot right now. They do have control over the church area of the high ground. And so Team Liquid regrouping are going to try another push. They do have Dummy on that Winston to try and contest, but Dot with that Widowmaker at 91% charge is about to get his ultimate down.
Right now, Liquid did manage to move forward a bit, but Dot's still doing work and now has the Widowmaker ultimate active, so everyone on one shot has effective wall hacks. Xe definitely making use of that, finishing off ID in the air, and Team Liquid forced back once again. 2 minutes and 50 seconds left to try and make this push, and Dot is paying off on the Widow. Looks like One Shot's doing a good job actually keeping her away from all those mean offensive players. We've got Dummy as the Winston going to be on Widowmaker duty for sure, probably going to leap up at her immediately.
Oh yeah, and in the backside, it's going to be AZK who already pushes on through. It is trying to take down Ultimate Web, but Ultimate Web gets that kill onto id, who did use the rocket barrage. The resurrection is going to come out. That's going to be the hang, bringing back id. Ultimate Web getting into a battle against id right now in the back line. He has to be careful as the Winston does try to jump on top of him. Rolf is going to be the next recipient of the Winston Tesla cannons. But right now, teams haven't quite traded yet. Ultimate Web tries to go for the barrage, but AZK is going to easily clean that up. Dummy is back on the back line again. He's on top of Rolf. Is going to bust him, push him away. Right now, it's going to be Team Liquid trying to push forward.
Sound barrier for the side of the defense is going to keep them in control of the payload, though. 1 minute, 50 seconds left. That's essentially 2 or 3 coordinated attacks left for Team Liquid. If they lose any players here, that's going to be very drastically bad for them. Mezzer does get the kill on Wolf, the defensive Lucio, so that kind of opens the door a little bit for them. Mezzer coming in, his Reinhardt shield is about to break. He drops the Earthshatter, does catch Dot, and that is an important kill. Psycho Elfal and Dot both falling means that there is no glue holding this defense together. They all fall afterwards, and suddenly the checkpoint is met. 3.5 minutes left to push through this final stage of Dorado.
Yeah, great offense coming out from Team Liquid there. They got some crucial picks early on, and now they are trying to proxy, pushing this payload as far as they can before they engage on to the next. Dummy has to be careful. He doesn't want to get caught out here on that Winston.
Yeah, he's going to back off just a little bit. Defense pushing slowly forward here with Chronic taking the lead. That fire strike that you see Reinhardt shoot, that big fireball actually goes through all the barriers, Winston, Zarya, and Reinhardt shields. So good thing to launch constantly. When you see a Reinhardt setting up, there's Attack Visor active now for Xe, getting a lot of damage in. Minstrel to hang all down. The Ultimate Web getting the last 2 kills there on Mezzer and Dummy as the Tank Buster Reaper. Everything just gets cleaned up, and One Shot has to feel good about putting up this pretty solid defense. Nothing, I mean, they haven't shut them down completely, but each checkpoint is taking them quite a while to try and fight through, and it is possible that they're going to be able to stop them completely with this last stretch. 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Again, that's just a few attempts, essentially, as a group that they're going to get. If One Shot can pull together here, if Psycho Waffle can hit that fat res at the perfect time, everything's going to go One Shot's way, but Liquid, of course, wants to stop that. Minstrel with the sound barrier right away, AZK with the Attack Visor right away, both getting kills on Xe and Psycho Waffle. No res available for the defense until that Mercy returns. Chronic leaps down with the Earthshatter, buys them a little bit of time. You can see the defense all on the other side of the payload than where you would expect. There's a big res coming in from Dehang, picking up everybody on Liquid. The payload itself is empty. Minstrel Dummy getting there now. Xe tries to show up, but is a little bit late. Psycho Waffle has the res, but cannot get there, and is going to fall in only like 30-40 seconds. Liquid pushes through this whole third section.
What a fantastic push coming out from Team Liquid there to finish that off. They completely routed them. They knew that One Shot were going to try and play defensively on the top hand side, and instead they went right underneath them and got the flank, and it was id on that excuse me, not id, but it was the Pharah on the side of Team Liquid that were able to get that kill onto Xe, get rid of the 76, and of course they found that Mercy pick really early on. So great job coming out from Team Liquid. They're going to finish out that map on 7:25. And so now it's going to be up to one shot to try and finish this map out. But that's a really fast time set by Team Liquid.
All right. Yeah, I got to say a pretty solid time for Team Liquid overall. Again, I do wonder if Liquid is going to be able to put up that solid defense again. That was the first full hold that we'd seen on King's Row there. Will they be able to do it again on Dorado? I think, there is that potential. They did finish the attack, so still looking good against one shot. Let's see. I think it was Envious earlier who actually disrespected the let them take the first stretch rule, and we had like Taimu and Tailspin just dunking on people in the spawn doors. I don't think Liquid is going to be that presumptuous. Even though they did have that full hold, they'll probably let them take this first stretch uncontested. Minstrel is going to be playing that Symmetra. We'll see if he can get his teleporter up any faster than Rolf did, or if it actually comes into play at all, since it did very little actually for one shot in the end.
All right, so on the side of the defense, that's going to be Team Liquid. We do have Minstrel. He's going to try his hand at the fire, at the Symmetra, and it was very close to working out for one shot in their defense. Unfortunately, it was able to get into the back and clean that up. So we'll see how it pans out for them. This time, though, there's not going to be a Junkrat on the defense. Instead, we do have the Pharah along with 76.
All right, doors are open, and we immediately have some action. They are going to let them push just through that first corner before taking the free shots down at them. Minstrel already at 10%, just keeping an eye on that Symmetra progress, and so important here. As we move forward, one shot, just uncontested all the way up to the choke point. Here we can see the first clash probably about to happen. Mezzer, it's going to basically be on him as Reinhardt to pick when they're going to do this. Dummy obviously looking for picks down the left and right of the payload as well. Cannot get the hook. Actually on either side, Exy misses as well.
Yeah, so the barrier holding for now is actually just going to get dropped, and so they're going to wait for that to respawn. The hook comes in, and it's going to be Exy getting hooked in by Dummy, but he is going to be able to retreat. No, he gets dropped. And now in this 5v6, the offense will have to wait just a little bit as it finds the pick onto Roof. So with that staggered spawn, it's going to be a little while before one shot can try another push.
Yeah, already 1 minute burned off the clock. Out of all those precious seconds that they have, one shot need to make the most of it. Already getting back up to the payload, might as well, keep it from rolling backwards. The payload will roll backwards on its own if no one from the offense touches it after a certain amount of time. It's something like 10 seconds without any contact from the offense. It'll start to roll back. Defense does not have to touch it. As you see, it's just doing its own thing. But here we go, engaging once again. Chronic finally gets a pin. Seems like he's been so unfortunate with his pins lately, but does get the kill on Reinhardt. Dropping the barrage, gets a lot of damage in. Offensive res, excuse me, comes right back in the face of Dummy's Whole Hog ult. He gets hooked out of it, and the sound barrier into Exy Whole Hog, actually allowing one shot to move forward. Not going to be a full hold this time around, it looks like. Minstrel did get the teleporter up, though, so Mezzer and AZK already back in the fight. Rolf in the background does take out the teleporter now, but hasn't allowed Liquid too much time to get back in here. There's still several members standing on the payload. Rolf is kind of by himself now as AZK and Mezzer reclaim it, and the rest come through from their spawn. It looks like Liquid is going to hang on, and it's all about that teleporter.
Yeah, Roof's finally going to get cleaned up by Minstrel, and that TP, unfortunately, was cleaned up on the side of one shot here, so they don't have to deal with that, and he's going to have to get that charge up again. Minstrel will. We do see Chronic pushing forward with that Reinhardt. They are through the choke, and so they're ready to engage onto them. Speed boost does come out. We have Dot on that McCree. We do have the Death Blossom coming out, but he's only going to get one kill before he gets cleaned up. Chronic, though, comes in. We do have the defensive resurrection coming out from Team Liquid here, and they're ready to re-engage. We have the Earth Shatters coming out, but nothing's really going to come of it as both teams just shrug that off with the Reinhardt barrier.
Yep, both Earth Shatters actually just whiffed easily. Good job for both of them to hold up the shield at the proper time. That's, one of two things Reinhardt can actually do. So big res actually coming in for the side of the offense, trying to keep this going. Ultimate Web on the payload itself, but they need to get Id and Mezzer out of the way. ID does fall to Ultimate Web there. Sound barrier coming out from Rolf gives them an opportunity to move forward here. Symmetra does have a teleporter in play once again, so they need to make sure that they kill it. Rolf actually on teleporter duty has killed 2 teleporters this game. He's well on his way to his achievement of killing 3 in 1 game. Dehane goes down now. We got the pulse bomb coming out, but does get wraith walked out of by Ultimate Web. Everything went One Shot's way right there at the end with about 20 seconds left to cap A. So Liquid resetting a little bit. They did burn a lot of time off the clock. It was, you know, under 7.5 minutes that One Shot had to try and complete the map. So it has to be looking pretty tenuous here still. Dot on the sniper now. Widowmaker moving way forward, trying to duel against ID.
Yep, ID has to be careful as that Winston does try to jump on him, and of course, there's also that Reaper that has made his way onto the church. So the high ground control gonna definitely be contested as they are sweeping through those ledges right now. Winston's gonna fall off, but he's right back on top of them right now. Dummy versus Exy, they have to be careful. He is gonna be a little bit caught out. He's in the back, and Chronic is going after him. He's gonna get chased down, but ooh, AZK comes in to help out his teammate, keeps him alive. Dummy's gonna survive. Now they're contesting the payload.
I've been watching Psycho Waffle just trying to hide basically throughout this fight. He's actually still hiding in the courtyard with the statue there, but AZK really has his sights fixed on him. He's shooting Helix rockets at him. Wolf has left the game, but I think we have to continue playing it as a lot of time has obviously gone by already. That's actually really bad for One Shot to lose a player in the thick of things like this.
Yeah, as they try to push in, they don't have one of their supports, so that's gonna be unfortunate. As the Earth Shadow does come out, it gets whiffed, but Chronic finds one onto Mesrar, but a nice boot from Minstrel is gonna make sure that charge isn't followed up, but Mesrar finds one of his own onto Chronic. He swings, he's gonna take him out. AZK is the one that comes up with the 3-man ulti. Chronic cleans up Mesrar now.
Yeah, 5v6, this is not gonna happen. Like, AZK's Tac Visor alone just does so much damage. Without that Lucio AoE healing to go with it, it's really rough. Wolf has rejoined the game now at least. One Shot, you know, that definitely hampered their ability to try and beat that time though, so I don't know if they're going to be able to recover at all. How much time do we actually have left if I can get that for production? A little less than 2 minutes, so a little less than 2 minutes to even try and reach this checkpoint, but things are looking pretty grim for them. It takes at least 45 seconds to push through that last section, so it's going to be really tough. They really need to steamroll them right now, and I just don't know if they have no ults actually to help them do that. Ultimate Web just now getting his death loss, but that's about it.
Chronic does have his Earth Shatter, but Earth Shatters haven't been used to great effect so far on this point. Chronic whipping his, misses it on that. As far as Ultimate Web also drops his Death Blossom. Oh no, this is not looking good so far for One Shot as they're slowly getting cleaned up. Mesrar and Dubby finding kills onto Chronic and Psycho Rifle. Ultimate Web does get the consolation kill onto Mesrar, but now time is ticking down for One Shot.
Yeah, definitely can't blame Rolf for the disconnect or drop or whatever it was, but definitely hampered their potential to actually make this happen. Now with only 30 seconds left, time is working totally against them. I don't even think they're going to reach this next checkpoint. They've got one opportunity to do so, and with Dot and Exy just freshly dead, it's going to take so much time to get back there. They're going to contest in overtime. We'll have to see what they do. I don't know how they're going to keep everyone alive because their engagements so far have not been going too great. Liquid waiting, lying in wait here for the last engagement. Chronic has his shield up, pushing up to the payload, but time is totally working against them. I think it's pretty much an impossibility now, so Liquid can kind of rest on their laurels as we go into overtime here.
Yeah, so this should be it, but One Shot don't want to call it quits quite yet. His Ultimate Web does find a kill onto Dummy, but AZK on that 76 finds the kill onto the Mercy. So that's the res down on the side of One Shot as we have both of the sound barriers popped, but a 2-man Earthshatter comes out on the side of Team Liquid, and they're slowly cleaning up. Attack Visor coming out. AZK cleans up the kill onto Exy, and Mesrar is going to swing on Chronic, take him out. Now it's all down to Dot to try and keep us alive for as long as he can. Rolf, though, is going to get caught out by that Pulse Bomb, and there we go. Team Liquid's going to finish that out. That's 2-0 against One Shot, and that's One Shot getting knocked out of this tournament.
Yeah, congratulations to Liquid moving on. Thanks so much to One Shot for trying their best today. Actually made some progress against Envious. Couldn't, you know, make it happen here against Liquid. Unfortunate Rolf disconnect or whatever that was in game number 2 kind of hurt their chances. But Liquid, of course, already showing that they are, you know, well prepared for One Shot. That first game, Kings Row, was very one-sided, and now happy to see One Shot fight back, of course, but Liquid will be moving on in the lower bracket. One Shot will be eliminated, as you said, and our next match is going to be the other losers bracket match. It will actually